Yo, what's up? What's going on? What's good? We're in here live, and this is the Midweek Report. We're here April 14th, 2021. And, there are like a few things that, wanted to go through and cover for this particular weekend or week. And we got like a few things that, wanted to, kind of like run through. Trying to see here how this is going to work. Not sure like how this thing is going, but hopefully, everything should be good as far as like y'all getting this particular live session. But wanted to cover a few things here within boxing. Anything that's come through as far as like any news and whatnot. But we have like a main topic that we're going to cover in this particular episode here. Hopefully our other guest is willing to come through and we get started on that. But as far as like, other things that are going on right now in the sport of boxing, wanted to, try to get through some of that. The first thing I wanted to do is like go through there was supposed to be an event next week, was supposed to be April 23rd, and it was supposed to involve former world champion in the super welterweight division, now at middleweight, Jaime Munguia. He was slated to go up against Demetrius Ballard. But Demetrius Ballard has now, lost, is pretty much out. He suffered an elbow injury there. This is, through Jake Donovan here from a couple of hours ago. So he suffered an elbow injury, and that is the second fighter that has been out or scratched. Therefore, Jaime Munguia, as he was originally supposed to be facing Masi Selecki. Selecki, was out for due to an injury. And that fight was going to be April 24th, which was a Saturday. And then, after that, once they found a replacement opponent, which was going to be Demetrius Ballard, now Demetrius Ballard is now out, due to an elbow injury. So that April 23rd date that they had for Jaime Munguia is now completely scrapped. They may try to find an alternative date to have Jaime Munguia in a bout or to headline the card. But as of right now, Jaime Munguia is off the card or all completely there for April 23rd. Right. Other things that wanted to go through is that it seems like the Showtime boxing is trying to fill out their particular schedule. I know that through Twitter, we heard from Al Bernstein, where Al Bernstein said that that they are going to have a schedule, pretty much have a schedule for the summer months coming out pretty soon. It would be released pretty soon, but right now you have like a couple of things that are coming up here in the near future that I want to go through. Wanted to see if one person wanted to join in the conversation here real quick. Shout out to Brother Jamil from YSM Sports Media. What's going on, man?
What's good, Jay?
All good here on this side, man. All good. I know that we had like a couple of announcements kind of come down for fights or possible fights that will be coming in the next couple of months. One of them was the thing there for Louise Nerry versus Brandon Figueroa. That's going to be coming up on May 15th. So that should be a good little scrap there. That's going to be, what was that there in the like in the super bantamweight division there. With Louise Nerry being the WBC super bantamweight champion, and Brandon Figueroa, having one of them regular belts there at super bantamweight. But this is probably one of the better fights that they can make at 122 pounds with, we do have that WBO champion there, cool boy stuff, Stephen Fulton out there. But, Louise Nerry holding the WBC title, and Brandon Figueroa, had his fight last year as well. So them having a bout is going to be pretty good. And we also heard from the unified super welterweight champion Jermell Charlo saying that, hey, he has a fight date coming up that's going to be announced pretty soon. And he said on Twitter that the site, he could pretty much pick the site. And that likely would be, for the undisputed super welterweight title against Brian Carlos Castaño. What do you think about those two fights that were kind of like announced? Well, one was announced. The other one is pretty much, going to be announced soon.
All right, so with Nerry and Figueroa, I feel like this is, I'm not going to say a tune-up for Nerry, but that's what it's feeling like. It's feeling like that's the prerequisite fight until they do a unification between him and Cool Boy. Figueroa's going to make it an exciting fight, but I figure Nerry's going to probably win 8 rounds to 4. I don't think he's going to stop Figueroa. He's pretty tough. The only question mark that I do have is, what is Louise Nerry going to look like after Eddie Reynoso? And who do you bring in the camp? That's going to play a factor with adjustments and just overall him, just how sharp is he going to look? So there's some question marks around that fight.
Yeah, I mean,
as far as
go ahead.
Charlo versus Castaño, that's a long time coming, man. They're probably gonna pick Texas. I got Charlo winning, but I think it's gonna be a lot tougher than what fans think. Castaño ain't sweet, man, and he has a high work rate, good chin, and he's gonna keep coming.
Yeah, I mean,
I see Charlo winning that though.
Yeah, I saw him against Wale Omatoso when that fight was, over here in the DC area, and we've seen what he did to win the WBO super welterweight title. He pretty much just was, like you said, had the motor from round 1 to round 12, and it's just going to be something there for Jermell Charlo to adjust to. He's going to be tough. It's just that I don't see with Castaño like him having the level of, overall boxing skill that would be kind of like, better than a Tony Harrison or something like that. So I feel like, Charlo will be able to make the adjustments and, kind of like be able to pull off the win there. He also said like, that event itself is going to be standalone. Like it's not going to be, him and his brother Jermall Charlo, or him and some other fighter that may have a belt or anything like that. This is going to be the headliner for the undisputed title there at 154 pounds. So that's going to be good for him on that part. There was like more stuff that was like coming out as far as like the fallout from the previous week. Of course, you had, Jaron Boots Enos get that win over Sergey Lipinets. People are still talking about it. I know that you kind of like got out in the live conversation for the podcast. before, our other guests were going to, talking more about it. But, it looks like Boots is willing to get back into work and get back in the gym like ASAP.
He's not an Earl Spence. He's not an Adrian Broner. He's not a Javante Tank Davis. This kid is a workhorse. Like, he loves the boxing gym. There's a lot of dudes that are good and they box because they're good at it. Now, he loves what he does. He's like Kobe. Like, he's a perfectionist, and you're not going to outwork him, and you're not going to catch him slipping. Amongst the fact that he has incredible talent, it's a full balanced breakfast, man. I don't see none of those top guys at 47 beating him. It may be, the younger guys that maybe have a chance that's climbing up through the ranks that have a crack at him, but nah. I just don't see it.
We're not still talking about Boots, right?
Come on, man.
We can't still be talking about Boots.
Oh, man.
That was last week's news, bro.
Here we go. Oh, it's last week's news.
Last week's news.
But you still want to be talking about Ducking Ass Ryan?
The people have spoken, okay? Only 188,000 people watched them. Nobody's interested. Let's move on to someone that someone's interested in. Let's talk about the great Deontay Wilder, who is on the verge of securing a trilogy with Tyson Fury. JR don't believe it. I'm telling you, it's happening, and it's happening soon.
All right. Well, first, let me say Deontay Wilder is great. I love Deontay Wilder. I'm a big fan. I'm definitely a Bomb Squad guy. But if you ever disrespect Boots again, man, I promise you, there won't be a bodega open in the Bronx, man. We gonna come up there, man. We're gonna come up there like Pooh Shiesty and Little Dirt, man.
I am protected by the biggest gang in the world, the NYPD.
This guy brought up the NYPD.
They not gonna protect you. There's nobody that look like us.
Oh man! But now, yeah, yo.
I just need JR. I'm gonna let you go. I just need Matt to admit he was exactly what I said he was.
Oh yeah, I was impressed. I'm Team Boots now. I'm gonna pretend like I was on the bandwagon from the beginning. I'm about to lie my ass off.
Oh man. Well, we got somebody that's now on the Boots train, and we'll see more from
who you think our guys next. Jamel.
Me and JR was talking about this. So Figueroa versus Abel Ramos is the other eliminator, and they're the winner that's going to fight Stanley Owners, right, JR?
Oh, well,
the winner's that's going to fight Stanley Owners, right? And then that guy's going to fight Jamal James. So it could be like a Josito Lopez. It could be a Jamal James. Shit, it could even be Mean Machine.
Yeah, Boots is whooping all their ass. Did we ever find out?
He should try to get a fight with Cuchillo.
Did we ever find out if his hand was hurt?
I'll let you know tonight.
Okay.
I haven't even asked.
Yeah, because after that fight, it really wasn't like kind of mentioned that he may have hurt his hand a little bit. So
yeah, it looked like he shook his hand in the fourth round. I went back and watched the fight. It looked like in the fourth round he shook his hand after landing a punch.
Yeah,
he did, but he was back in the gym on Monday, so I don't know. I don't know. If he did, he's going to be doing other work in the gym. Probably not punching.
Word. All right. So now that we have the president of the Deontay Wilder fan club here with us, we will get into the topic of the night. So we've had over the past few days more news and reports about the fight that would be for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. But apparently, we have a few people that don't buy these reports. Matthew is among one of them.
Me too.
He still believes, like Mariah Carey, that there will be a third fight between Tyson Luke Fury and Deontay Wilder. Okay. This is after on Saturday night when you had the report from Mark Kriegel on ESPN where he basically was saying this.
Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua, around the globe for the past 30 or so days, negotiating and soliciting offers. He says that tomorrow he will present both camps with, quote, several real offers, and they'll make their decisions in all likelihood in this coming week. You've been paying attention to social media. You've seen Tyson Fury tweet about several big offers from just about every continent on the globe. I had heard earlier that Qatar and several Eastern European territories are in play. But the front runner, now as ever, remains Saudi Arabia.
Now, that came from Mark Kriegel during the telecast for that Joseph Jr. Maxim Blasov fight.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Um,
What story has Mark Kriegel ever broken?
Here's the thing. Why would Mark Kriegel say something like that on ESPN?
Because he heard it from
Exactly.
Bob or whoever.
Okay.
He said
But here's the thing, though. You don't. Here's one instance. You don't put stuff like that out on a major network like ESPN, who has a serious investment in Top Rank, without any type of backing behind it. Now, if you don't want to take that, cool. If you have people like Jay Donovan and Dan Raphael and Keith Idek also reporting on it, then there you go.
Hey, JR, can I go real fast?
All right.
Can I point out a contradictory statement that AJ made? And all right, so they said that Eddie and Tyson Fury said that they had major offers, multiple offers from several different sites, right? You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Eddie said at least 4, and Tyson said he received multiple offers. And I know where you're going with this. So let's lay the smack down on JR right now. I know where you're going with this.
You won't, but go ahead.
And then I see Anthony Joshua post that he received the first offer. And I'm like, whoa.
1.
Yeah, 1. And I'm like, what? Eddie just said 4. Tyson Fury said multiple. And now you're saying 1 real offer. So which one is it?
Joshua's.
So
I'm going to tell you why, right?
Go ahead.
Here's the thing, right? And this goes over like the past, like whatever, wherever, right? Whether it's us or anybody. When people talk about Eddie Hearn and Eddie Hearn saying stuff, do they really like kind of completely 100% buy what Eddie Hearn says, regardless of what the topic is?
That nigga be lying. Nope.
Okay, so that's 1. 2, when it comes to Tyson Luke Fury and usually the stuff, whatever he talks about, regardless of whatever the topic is, do people 100% believe Tyson Fury?
It depends. Do you believe that he consumed uncastrated wild boar penis, and that's why he such a positive financial?
Wait. Why couldn't you repeat what you said about Eddie Hearn for Tyson Fury? You could have just went there with that.
because Tyson Fury is a thief. Okay, and he
Oh
is
God, here we go again.
possession of ill-gotten goods right now, and I'm talking about the WBC belt. And he will not. He will not get away with this. He will not get away with this.
Hey, JR, to be honest with you, right? When's let's say Tyson Fury wins an arbitration, but deep down nobody thinks so. But let's say Tyson Fury wins, or there's just a dollar amount attached to Wilder winning, right? When's the earliest that you see this fight happening?
The earliest that I see any fight happening, is after July 11th.
I say November.
Now,
And that's for either one.
And I gotta call you out a little bit because you're saying that you think it's gonna be Joshua versus Fury, but you don't think that fight's gonna be next either. So what are we really talking about if you don't think Joshua versus Fury is gonna be next?
Because you believe more than anything in this planet that Tyson Fury is going to face Deontay Wilder next.
Yes.
No. There's way too many obstacles in the way for that particular fight to happen.
How is
there's only one thing that could leave it impossibility, and that deals with Tyson Fury's contract. That's it.
Do you believe that Tyson Fury will win arbitration?
Hell no.
I don't know what's going on with arbitration, to be really honest. I really don't, because here's my thing. We know where Tyson Fury is and where he's at and that type of thing. And a lot of the stuff that he's done, particularly over the past few weeks, has been public. But on the flip side, we haven't heard anything in reference to what Deontay Wilder is doing, as far as like what his next fight's going to be, what he's preparing for, if he's training or anything like that. Now, I know that Matt is the president of the Deontay Wilder fan club, but he knows that there's a way that I could find out what's going on in this camp. And it doesn't have anything to do with that guy with the initials T and J on it.
Okay.
So all I have to do is make a couple phone calls and they'll tell me. And as of right now, I've heard nothing. Now, from a public standpoint, one of the things that I usually bring up is a comparison to what's happening with Andy Ruiz Jr. and Deontay Wilder when it comes to trainers, head trainers or chief seconds. We know what's up with Andy Ruiz Jr. We don't necessarily know what's up with Deontay Wilder right now. So unless if, like Jamil said, nothing's really going to be happening until November, then we haven't had anything that makes it closer to seeing when Deontay Wilder is going to get himself prepared to fight again, or at least for this year.
Hey Jay, I'm gonna say this one thing and then I'm gonna go, right? The reason why I don't feel like Fury will win in arbitration, besides I don't see him having any leg to stand on contractually. They've consistently lied. They told you arbitration was over a couple months ago. Remember? I know you remember that.
It was at least by March.
Yeah, they told you that arbitration was over, that they had won, and that they were going forward with the Tyson Fury fight. And then it comes out that arbitration hadn't even begun yet. So it's with that kind of misinformation that leads me to believe that they don't think that they're going to win. And I feel like Eddie Hearn is setting up to make Fury the scapegoat and the reason why this fight didn't happen. That's just me.
Well, the thing about it is that like when has it been? How long has it been since that has kind of like been brought up as far as like that particular topic of arbitration? Like how long ago?
It was just brought up this
The
past
last I heard
weekend.
about arbitration was this past weekend.
No, I'm talking about like actually mentioning it or actually bringing it up. Not like anything is a reference to the actual process. Like everybody was talking about arbitration for a good while.
No, I'm talking about this weekend. I heard. Basically, what I keep hearing from Eddie is that that he doesn't know necessarily what's going on. That he knows that they're in arbitration currently. That's what I keep hearing from that side. And Bob, I keep hearing from Bob and Fury that they don't know what the outcome's going to be. So that seems to me like a whole lot is up in the air for you to be taking offers on a fight that probably won't happen when you think it is. But I'm going to be out on that note. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. New York boxers suck. What else? Philly's the best. I'm not a fan of the Bronx. The only thing the Bronx had that came out good is Cardi B. I'm out on that note.
She all right. She ain't all that. She all right.
Oh my God. He didn't. Matt, I'm going to quote the words of Mr. Booker T. Huffman. He didn't say that.
Nah.
Tell me he did not just say that. Oh my God, this dude said Cardi B. Oh my God.
So let me ask you a question, JR. What are you going to say when it's announced that the trilogy is happening?
That there must be a whole lot of secretive stuff going on, because you know what my stance has been in reference to the third fight. And it's always been, well, it's been for two things, right? One, it's been from what Deontay Wilder said on that video. See, what you don't understand, thief.
Mm-hmm.
So from that and the response from Tyson Fury, that just made me say, yo, Fury is not going to be fighting Deontay Wilder, because if you're going to go ahead and make those statements in reference to what happened in the first and second fights, there really shouldn't be any point for a third, because you kind of like made it that Fury cheated in those fights.
Did he not cheat?
No. Unless if you have a entire state athletic commission that is behind it, then hey. Now, the second thing is, okay, going off of that second fight, and we both know what the deal, the contract deal was at that particular time when they renegotiated. 2-fight deal, okay, joint pay-per-view under Disney, okay. Regardless of what people may say about the final figures, one of the things that was kind of reported was that their maximum earning potential for that second fight was going to be $25 million each, okay. Whether they made it or not is up to discussion for anybody, okay? But the overall taste that I got out of it was that the networks weren't necessarily happy with the overall results of people buying into that particular fight.
I don't believe
Okay?
that. I don't believe that. And I'm
Okay,
gonna tell you why.
that's you. That's okay. You don't believe that. Okay, now here's my thing. Even though they, had a very successful gate, revenue for it. Okay, if the numbers don't add up, then they're like, I don't know if we want to go forward with this particular deal. Okay, so my thing is, if it was the figures that they kind of like were reporting, right, for the second fight, we knew that what the split was going to be for the third fight. It was contingent on who was winning the second. So Fury winning the second fight was going to earn more than Wilder. And if it was a purse of around 50 million, then he would be due about 30 and Wilder would be due 20. Either way, would they put up another $50 million in the budget or sporting budget to have a fight like that, regardless of what date it would be, what site it was going to be in, or anything like that, particularly since it's going to be in America where we still are dealing with, that thing. So, and one of the things that was brought up in and around social media is there was some type of thing in reference to Las Vegas, and that they're close to having things to be fully open.
Yeah, June 1st.
Well, yeah, June 1st is what they're, trying to do. But that doesn't necessarily mean that businesses or corporations themselves will actually go forward and have events at 100% capacity. We'll see about it, because they're going to be really close to that particular point when they have that fight that's going to be for the undisputed junior welterweight title with Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez. That's going to be in Mandalay. Well, actually, that site hasn't really been official yet. They said it would have been, but it hasn't been official yet. So
yeah, what Top Rank did was they put a hold on the MGM Conference Center, and the reason why they did that is because apparently PBC is going to be having an event the same day at the MGM Garden Arena. So Top Rank is trying to choose between the MGM Conference Center and Mandalay Bay. I'm assuming they're going to do the Conference Center because I don't think Ramirez versus Taylor is going to attract that many fans to really justify renting out the Mandalay Bay.
Well, I mean, we're going to see how that's going to turn out. As I was saying, before you got on, that one of the fights that PBC is going to have is that WBC title bout between Louise Nerry and Brandon Figueroa, but that's going to be that week before, on May 15th. So we're going to see what happens on May 22nd, which I'm still waiting on, because I know that we've been part of the conversation on social media that with Al Bernstein saying that they were going to release a schedule sometime this week. So that's the thing that I'm waiting on, is when they're going to release that schedule, at least, for Showtime, that they're going to have their series of fights. But
when is Ruiz versus Areola?
May 1st.
Okay.
Remember, it was supposed to be April 24th, and then they moved it to May 1st.
Wow, PBC is going to be running May. That's going to be a big month for boxing.
I think they because you have the stuff for this week coming up with Tony Harrison's going to have his fight, and then that May 1st thing is going to be they have the opener that's going to be on Fox with Erislandy Lara They're fighting for that WBA belt against Cornflake,
Yeah,
and then
LaMotta.
they're gonna have the pay-per-view, with those guys that are gonna be on the pay-per-view headlined by Ruiz versus Chris Arreola. So after that, then you're gonna see more of those bouts coming from the PBC side, whether it's going to be Fox pay-per-view or Showtime or whatever it is. But when it comes to the thing for Fury and Wilder, I'm really skeptical about it, and it's more so because of what Disney would do if they're going to use those resources to have both ESPN and Fox invest in that particular fight.
Yeah, listen. I know a lot of people claim that they weren't happy with the pay-per-view numbers, but if they weren't happy with the pay-per-view numbers, then why is it Fox is putting on pay-per-view after pay-per-view after pay-per-view?
Well, Fox, well, the thing with pay-per-view after pay-per-view, with me, that's more of a thing with a guarantee. And it goes to the thing for Andy Ruiz Jr. For an example, like everybody had known since the beginning of last year that Andy Ruiz Jr. was going to face Chris Arreola. But with Andy Ruiz Jr. having his 2 fights against Anthony Joshua, that raised his overall, purse, demand or, purse request. So likely he's going to make a minimum of $2.5 to $3 million off the rip. So if it was going to be that type of a price point, they're going to say, you know what, we can't have this on regular Fox. We got to have it on pay-per-view in order to cover those particular costs. And with the thing with Wilder is whether it's $20 million, if he was going to fight Tyson Fury again. If it was not going to be Tyson Fury again, his minimum to me was going to be $8 million at the least. Most likely 10, regardless of who he was going to be fighting. It was going to be $10 million. So whether it's Fox, Showtime, or anything like that, it's a pay-per-view guarantee for Deontay Wilder's next fight, regardless of who it is. So
now, let me ask you a question. Since you do not believe Wilder versus Fury will take place next, then who do you believe Deontay Wilder is going to fight next?
Charles Martin.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Come on. Come on.
Okay, so if it's not going to be Charles Martin, here's the thing. Like I told you, like I said, what his overall minimum purse would be. So if they could afford to have a total purse of about $10 or $12 million, then yeah, a Charles Martin, someone like a Charles Martin would be, his opponent. It wasn't going to be, of course, it wasn't going to be your boy, Adam Kalnaki, right?
No, he's getting Hellenius again.
Right, he's getting Hellenius again. And like I said, I think Hellenius Kalnaki is going to be a rematch, and they're going to likely put it in Uncasville, Connecticut. So unless if you have somebody like a Charles Martin or I would say it couldn't even be Frank Sanchez. Because the thing about it is, it couldn't even be Knuckle Hunter either, So who else is out there that is in the heavyweight division that's highly rated or rated highly enough to constitute having Deontay Wilder on as a pay-per-view? It's got to be Charles Martin, because otherwise, what would it be? Otto Wallen? Nah, they ain't gonna do that yet. Okay, so because right now, once you have Andy Ruiz Jr. there against Chris Arreola, what's going to be next for Andy Ruiz Jr.? Who are they going to put him up against?
Maybe Luis Ortiz, probably.
Nah, they wouldn't do that. Mm-mm. Man, like Luis or nah, man. If they did that, then they would have done. They should have done that initially instead of Chris Arreola. But nah, I don't see it. You know, um, it's just.
You think it's
and
too
that's the thing.
early for Michael Coffey?
Ooh. Against Wilder?
Yeah.
I would say yes, but the problem is, look at Michael Coffey's age.
Yeah, but he's been getting a little bit of buzz from those Fox
Right.
telecasts.
Right. So the thing is like he's already there at like what, 35? He's like 35 himself, ain't he?
Yeah.
So I mean, what else could they do, out there for him, unless if they put him against Frank Sanchez?
What heavyweights do PBC got?
All right. So you got Wilder, you got Ruiz, you got Ortiz, you got Charles Martin, Helenius, Kalnacki, right? Wallin, Gerald Washington, the GOAT, Frank Sanchez.
Well, Frank
Mike
seems to be
Coffey.
with the Zone now.
Who?
Frank Sanchez seems to be with the Zone now. He's following.
Oh
Canelo.
yeah. He be bouncing back and forth. Isn't he with God damn, who's our guy that used to be with Golden Boy, the matchmaker?
Garcia.
I think who?
Isn't Garcia the matchmaker at Golden Boy?
Well, he probably is now, but who I'm talking about who used to be the matchmaker before the Golden Boy broke up and all the fighters went to PBC.
You talking about Swiss Rich?
Yeah, like someone like him, right? Of course, you got Dominic Brazil, the GOAT.
The slowest fighter on earth.
The slowest fighter on earth. Johan Duhaupas. Hey, at least it's not. At least people are not saying that Deontay Wilder possibly fight Trevor Bryan. Who I don't know who came up with that. Who came up with Deontay Wilder possibly fighting Trevor Bryan, man? Like
no, it was Rick Glazer who fell for a trick that said Wilder was going to be fighting Carlos Negron.
Oh yeah, he didn't say that.
What? Yo, these people are idiots, man. Like, how do you fall for a fake Twitter account and then run with it as news and then say sources that you're hearing? No, you read it on a fake Twitter account, and everyone has the screenshot of the fake Twitter account.
Oh my God! He said Carlos Negron was going to be the opponent for. Oh my God! But yo, I pretty much just named like just about every fighter, that could possibly be out there.
Well, there's one fighter that you didn't name who's a free agent, who I think would be a good matchup. Your boy Michael Hunter.
Yeah, that was the only other one, because he been a free agent since the beginning of this year. Like nobody signed him yet. God dang.
What do you make of that? Why is there no interest in Michael Hunter?
I don't know. Like I don't see like how you can't come up with some matches for Michael Hunter on any side, whether it's especially with like, Top Rank and PBC or Tom Brown or something like that,
I wonder
we just named a few guys that he could fight that would make for some good fights.
I wonder if he's like an asshole behind the scenes to deal with. Like maybe he's not easy to deal with because it seems like he burned bridges everywhere he goes.
That probably could be it. But I mean,
because he was with Top Rank before, right?
Before going to the Matchroom?
Yeah, he was with Top Rank. Remember he fought Usyk?
Man.
He was
Yeah, he
with
did
Top
fight
Rank.
Usyk, but like who else?
Because his daddy used to fight for Top Rank, so I think Top
Yeah.
Rank signed him because of that.
That probably is it. Hey, wait a minute. He fought Jerry Force?
Yeah.
God damn. Yeah, but he was with Golden Boy though. He was initially under there with Golden Boy. Him had fights under Golden Boy. You know, I'm like, man, yeah. So, yeah, he was with we had fights under Tom Brown too.
So I need to know what's up with Michael Hunter behind the scenes.
Yeah, because if he can't get signed or re-signed by PBC or something like that, then that's mad weird. But
I mean, it's not like his fights are bad.
Right. Well, it's not like his fights are bad. It's just what I've said about Michael Hunter is some of the fights that he's had, he could have like clearly won, but just didn't do enough to separate himself. You know what I mean?
He don't got that dog in him.
Right. Put him in against the winner of Joseph Parker versus.
Oh my gosh. Another pay-per-view.
I don't know. I don't know how that's a pay-per-view. But hey, I bet why don't you put him in there against Dylan White?
Dylan White would never take that fight.
He probably wouldn't. I don't think he sees any incentive in it. But speaking of like people that could sign somewhere else, apparently one of our guys, Semper Fi himself, Mel Herring, the WBO super featherweight champion, said, "Oh, apparently, I'm near the end of my contract with Top Rank. So either I have a decision, I could try to get this, or say, hey, I thank you for your service. I'll go elsewhere." And
he was being serious?
That thing's still on his Twitter, ain't it?
I assumed that he was trolling.
Man, I don't know about that. Like, I mean, he to me, he's more of like someone who wouldn't kind of do something like that, though.
Oh,
But
I thought he was trolling. I didn't know he was serious. I saw it, but I didn't make anything of it. I thought he was just joking around.
But I mean, and he said that he's gonna be commentating that for that Ring City USA telecast on next Thursday too. So, but yeah,
That'd be interesting.
I
like Ring City. That's a good matchup too.
And he's gonna be on the Last Stand podcast too. He's gonna be on that, so be on the lookout for that.
But I like that Ring City matchup. You got two big beefy men bumping meat in the main event. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see.
Oh man. But yeah, that should be a good little scrap. But he said that he has some he has some news coming up or something like that. But he was like, hey, apparently, I'm at the end of nearing the end of my contract, so maybe he could go elsewhere and have that fight against maybe it's Tank. Who knows?
No. I don't think Tank is going back to 130 if he's really going to be fighting Barrios.
Right. Like, but when is that fight against Mario Barrios going to be,
You think that's a main event or you think that's an undercard fight?
Which one?
Tank versus Barrios.
Oh, that's got to be main event, man. Like once you've had headlined the past couple of events, you don't go back. Especially if you could, especially the way that they set it up is it's going to be in Texas. So yeah, they're going to do it same way like Tank versus Santa Cruz. They're going to put it in Texas. Pay per view it if they. Well, I don't know if it's going to be pay per view, but hey,
I
they're
hope
going to put
not.
it in Texas, and they're going to get fans in there, and they're going to bring a crowd, and it's just going to be people supporting Barrios, and you'll have it against Tank, and it's going to be something similar to what we had with Santa Cruz. Although you really think that Barrios does have a good shot of clipping
Hell yeah.
Tank, so hey,
The Barrios could bang. Yo.
right. Yeah, well, we know that.
This is a good matchup.
Well, we know that. Yeah, Cowboy Carl knows that. I'm like,
Yeah,
my
man.
goodness.
This is not a good matchup.
Yeah.
Now, where do you see Lubin versus Rosario landing at?
What date? What month would it be?
I'm not too sure, but I'm thinking this is gonna be somebody's co-feature.
Yeah, I thought it would be too, man. They should put it as a co-feature for Charlo versus Castano.
Castano, yeah, that's looking like July.
Yeah. Yeah, that would likely be it, because usually that's what we end up having too, if you think about it. Like a lot of the times you have the world title fights at 154 is usually like has a co-feature of another 154-pound fight in it. So
yeah, but here's the thing: Charlo versus Castano is going to be on regular Showtime. Showtime going to be able to afford both of those fights?
Yeah, why not? They've done it before. I mean, I don't think that this particular fight with Charlo and Castano is like something really serious or really big that they can't afford to have, a Lubin versus, like, I mean, we're talking about, when we had that 154-pound triple header over at the Barclays Center, that was like, what, 2016?
Yeah.
So they can still do it. I mean, I don't think it's, much of a hassle or much of a haggle to, have something like that. It's not like these guarantees with Lubin and
if I'm PBC, I'm saving Lubin versus Rosario for Spence's undercard, because Spence versus Ugas is not a pay-per-view. So you're gonna have to really stack that card in order to entice people to buy it, in my opinion.
Right. But I'm thinking Lubin and Rosario, like how much would it be? Because I mean, you're gonna have to you're putting Spence on there as a pay-per-view guy. He's supposed to be your guy. So you're gonna have to put it up, because I know one thing. My boy ain't gonna be he ain't gonna be a co-feature bout. He's gonna be a main eventer.
Yeah, of course. I think Lubin versus Rosario is probably gonna cost $2 to $3 million max.
Probably about $2 million. How much you think that Lubin fight against Garcia was?
I think Lubin made $1 million.
Ooh. That wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be that bad for Lubin. Like, goddamn, like, shoot, for fight Garcia.
Yeah,
man, that would be that's a good deal, man. For me, man, shoot, that's a good deal. So yeah, if he got $1 million for that, then yeah, I'm sure he'd get about at least 1.5 for a Rosario fight. So
yeah, PBC got a lot of cards coming up in a short period of time. I'm just wondering how they're gonna stack these cards. Like what's gonna be on Nerry versus Figueroa? Because even though we know, because we're boxing heads, that's gonna be an excellent matchup, we know it's gonna be entertaining. Is that really a standalone main event? No. They're going to have to stack that card too.
That's supposed to be Showtime, right?
Yeah, May 15th.
Oh, man, damn. Yeah, damn, that's like a month from now. Shoot.
Yeah.
Because you know, like we were talking about earlier, they're trying to see if they could put this to kind of like set up a unification with Stephen Fulton. And I'm like, well, why not have Stephen Fulton have a voluntary defense?
Yeah.
Around that same time. So,
well, one fighter we know is going to be on that card is going to be Danny Roman, because he posted on his social media that he's coming back May 15th. So you would have to assume he's going to be on that card. So who is he going to fight that's a sexy fighter that's going to make fans tune in? I can't think of anybody.
Right, Salim?
Oh, no.
I know it wouldn't be. Yeah, nah. But
he'll beat the hell out of Roman. I don't think they want to do
I
that.
know. I know, but what else is Danny Roman gonna do? Because he had that fight on the pay-per-view, and he couldn't really get on that, but he didn't really have a good performance on that.
Payano, by the way.
Yeah, I thought he lost, man. I thought he lost to Payano, but come on. But yeah, like I don't know who else he would be matched up against in this particular juncture, though, man. You know,
maybe they could.
Let's say they have him against what, Angelo Leo?
No, dig up Josh Greer.
Oh, oh no! What about Mike Plania?
That would actually be interesting.
Yeah, because how about him? Where's Isaac Dogbe, man? We haven't heard from Neho yet.
Nihao.
He said Nihao. Oh man, yeah, I haven't heard from him yet. So I don't know, man.
A lot of interesting things. I think we just need to wait for Showtime's schedule announcement. Then we could know where things are really shaking out at.
Yeah, because if they already have something for, well, at least they have like a full card for May 1st, but they don't have the full card for May 15th yet.
Yeah,
so
and they have a FS1 date. It looks like May 21st that they haven't even announced anything for yet.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot that they're gonna have to really like kind of talk about, but all they have is the thing for the May 1st, and that's it. But they haven't really posted anything else after that. So I mean, we'll see how that works. I mean, we got just about, I'd say, a couple minutes left. I know that you got these fights coming up on Saturday. Of course, Tony Harrison against Perella coming up. It's me again. Demetrius Andrade against Liam Williams. I don't think that a lot of people are really expecting much out of either one of these fights. But if Liam Williams finds a way to upset Demetrius Andrade, we wouldn't be able to hear the end of it from across the pond.
I'll be pissed off.
Yeah, I would be too. To be honest, I would be too.
In the words of Wesley Snipes, always bet on black.
Yeah, so that's kind of like how that goes, man. But anything else as far as like maybe the rumor mill, because I know that I didn't really talk about. I mean, I had a video reference to the thing for Ryan Garcia, and I know that I picked on you for that.
Ryan Garcia is such a bitch. I like Ryan Garcia. You know that, but he is such a bitch. Did you see what he said about Haney?
Not anything after I posted what I posted
He
the
is
other
such
day.
a bitch for that. So
Like,
he just basically said he don't respect his career
right,
because of who he has
yeah,
fought, and he
you're right,
claimed
yeah.
that Haney won his belt through politics.
Mm-hmm.
Haney was a victim of politics. What are you talking about? Like,
Yeah,
just
that's
say
number
you
one.
don't want to fight him. Like, why
Right.
do you have to make it? Just say you don't want to fight him. That's it.
Yep.
You know, first you
Cause
claim you fighting Tank, then you
mm-hmm.
claim you fighting Pacquiao,
Mm-hmm.
and now instead of going for the title, you're gonna fight another eliminator against Javier Fortuna when you could just go straight for the belt. Just say what it is.
Yeah. And I think you know what? I think he kind of like he might have used the thing for Fortuna as a bailout because even though I really didn't feel like he was going to fight Tank anyway, he probably wanted to go for that fight. But with the thing that's going on with Tank Davis right now, and of course he's still going to end up fighting Mario Barrios anyway, he needed some type of a bailout plan. And so he went on ahead and he said, "Hey, let me go ahead and fight Fortuna."
But isn't it
So,
interesting that these quote unquote the new four kings,
mm-hmm.
Teofimo, Tank, Devin, and Ryan Garcia, Tank has taken the most shit from the public, but he has the toughest fight of all four guys coming up.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. I mean,
I'm gonna say Haney has the
the thing
easiest
with
fight.
the thing with Linares is like
Barbecue chicken
that's
alert.
it. Yeah, it's gonna be barbecue. The thing
Yeah.
about the thing with the Linares fight is that people are gonna have those expectations once again for Devin Haney, like they
He
had for
better
his
knock
fight
him out.
against Yorke
He
Gamboa.
better knock him out.
Yeah, he's got to knock him out. He's got to stop him. He's got to knock him out. Um, and of course, we had a thing with Ryan Garcia and Javier Fortuna. Tank against Mario Barrios. People sleeping on that, and Teofimo Lopez there against George Kambosos. Shout out to
On
Kambosos. He's
Triller. Jesus
on
Christ.
on Triller. Shout out to
Pay per
Kambosos.
view. It's pay
His
per view,
family's gonna
right?
have another kid.
It's gonna be pay per
Um,
view, right?
yeah, it's got to be pay per
Damn.
view with that type of price point that they won the purse bid for. Got to be pay per view.
With
You know.
Evander Holyfield on the undercard. Jesus Christ.
Hey, shout out to Chiller. They bought out Fight TV. So hey,
I
but
guess they're in it for the long haul.
yeah, they are. Look, yeah, they're definitely in it for the long haul. They're buying things there for getting what is it, boxing and all types of wrestling um, cards that they have on there. So hey, more power to them.
Yep.
But on that note, there, man, that is the midweek report. Um, the only other thing I would say is and we were talking about this thing here for Fury and Joshua, and what's happening with that fight, or Fury versus Wilder. What happened to Manny Pacquiao fighting Terrence Crawford? Um,
Got him.
uh, um, yeah, what happened to all that? Because there was like one announcement, and then things magically disappeared. So, like I was saying when they were initially talking about it, I'm like, no, 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 no. Unless if you really hear from who is it? Who's Pacquiao's right hand man?
Are you talking about Knucklehead?
Yeah, yeah. Like if you don't really hear from him, like for something like that, then that ain't gonna happen. Like if anything, like I said, he's gonna fight Mikey Garcia. It's just gonna be for the money. there's no point for Pacquiao to fight Terrence Crawford for a belt when he had a belt and they relinquished the belt.
He might get that belt back though.
Which would happen? Okay, then which would happen first? Him making that announcement that he's fighting Terrence Crawford, or the announcement of Errol Spence versus Yordenis Ugas?
Well, I don't think Crawford versus Pacquiao's happened at all, so it would have to be Spence versus Ugas.
Yeah, so
But Manny petitioned the WBA to reinstate him because he feels he was unfairly stripped.
Well, that has to go through what Gilberto Mendoza, and the way that they kind of like worded it is that Pacquiao could come back and be the WBA champion, but he would have to either face Spence, Crawford, or Ugas. And it just looked like he wasn't going to be fighting any one of them. So they said, you know what? Yeah, let me go ahead and get that belt. Thank you.
Yeah.
So it is what it is on that. So that being said, that is the midweek report. Shout out to Mr. Matthew Brown of MVO Most Valid Opinion being out there. Shoot, man. There's got to be one way or another, man. We need like another DMX tribute coming here real soon, man.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, because man, it said, man, that's my dog. So
all-time great, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have that coming up, man, or something. But yeah, we'll be back at it. We may have 2 guests coming up through this YouTube channel over the next couple of days. So be on the lookout for that. We'll have 2 guests. One of them looks like it will be Albert Bell. They're from Toledo, from the same camp as Jared Anderson. So
I just sent him the hell on Twitter. So I guess I won't be tuning into that one.
we won't be able to add you on, I guess. But we'll have Albert Bell on, and we'll see if we'll have someone else on tomorrow. It looks like it might be Rasheem Jefferson. So be on the lookout for that. But we're going to be a little bit more active here on the YouTube page since I finally got my freaking laptop back after it being like short-circuited for no apparent reason.
I thought you fixed computers.
I do, but when it comes to actual like factory made, they have to clear everything, and I'm like, you bastards! They wouldn't let me. They would not send me the motherboard, so I had to send the thing off to them.
Wow.
Bastards. So that's how it was. But yep, that's it for the midweek report. Big ups to everybody that joined in here live, and we will be back at it, like I said, with 2 more live sessions here, hopefully, and then the podcast live on Sunday night. So be sure to catch that, and I will catch all of y'all later. Till then, peace out.